Hello, welcome to Furious Driving and another episode featuring Hippo the 2003 Freelander. I have to say, and I would say it without apology, that the last week or two have been a little bit Freelander heavy, and you may have determined from the angle this is parked on the drive, this is not going to be any different today. This is another Freelander video. Now, I've been using this car pretty much every day this week. It's actually quite a lot of fun. It's not like current model SUVs, which are like very tall, wobbly cars. This feels a bit like a civilised Land Rover, which is kind of what it is, and it's an entirely different take on the SUV theme, and I kind of like this. I will admit that it has changed my driving style quite a lot, because the automatic gearbox is very sluggish, and it's about 100 horsepower less than my daily Mercedes, so you feel that in the performance. In fact, this bolt here is actually the thing I had to cut off the drop link the other day, and I put it in the scuttle and it's still there after doing a couple of 100 miles, so it shows kind of how steadily I've been driving this as compared to some of my other cars. Now, one of those trips I did take in this car was to go and get lots of bits and pieces, because as you live with the car and certainly do a few hundred miles in it, you notice more and more little things, niggles and things that are wrong with it, and I've started to put together quite a long list of bits and bobs that are wrong with my otherwise perfect car. So a friend of mine was breaking a 2002 Freelander. This is a 2003 that are pretty much identical. It was also a turbo diesel 5-door, which had been hit in the front corner and triggered the airbags and basically written off because the airbags had gone off. It was a minor side-on shunt. It was a real shame, but the insurance company wouldn't let it back on the road. So I went down there with some spanners and screwdrivers and started collecting bits. I'll show you what I got. Look at the gloss on the back of this thing. It's like a month since I washed it. It's still super shiny with that ceramic on there. Now, I didn't take this car down to go and do the collecting, but it has got a lovely big empty boot, which is ideal for stashing things. We've got all kinds of bits and pieces that we can then load into the Freelander over there and make it a better car. So let's see how many we can do in about 10 or 15 minutes of short video. We'll start off with the easiest possible one imaginable. I'm going to refit this missing bit of Land Rover rubber trim in this centre tray so things don't rattle, and it looks really cool. One down. Now next we have these broken trim pieces that were held in with gaffer tape. It's not smart, it's not big, it's not clever, but yeah, someone's taken these out previously and broken them. Also, there's no tweeters in there, so I've been and found these from that donor car, which are complete with pegs in them, and they've got tweeters as well, so I can refit these in a matter of seconds. Job done, job number 2. Now, while I quickly connect these up, I'll just say I had thought that the driver's door speaker wasn't working. Turns out neither front door speaker was working, which is not good. Ah, I see what I've forgotten here. Oh, I've left off a bit. On this one, it came out with this white tag here. Oops. Now this one I'll throw in as a twofer. First of all, I will dispose. Oh, it has got a tweeter in this one. That's interesting. Oh, but it's not actually connected. Okay, although I did notice that these things actually screw in. They just slot and rotate and you're in there. I'll save that for something else. Someone's trying to build that out and stick it on with many of these. Ah, that's got a broken end on it. Interesting. Anyway, as I was saying, this one is going to be a twofer because this mirror is also broken. I saw in an old photo of this car on one of the videos from I've forgotten the name of the channel that had it previously, that the mirror was held on with lots of gaffer tape. I saw the car in the flesh and I thought, oh, it's been fixed. Then I looked closer and realised it's just neater tape. So I've also got, where's it gone? As well as that, I've got a new mirror, which is also a power fold heated mirror, as this should be. Let me demonstrate how this sounds when I click the button. That's it folding in. And that's it folding back out again. Not pleasant. So this is merely, whoops, a T30 screw. There's 3 of them. Now really you could do with taking this door card out, but I'm not doing that just yet. I will have to do it in the near future because I need to change this window regulator as well, but that's a bigger job for a bigger day. God, I wish I'd kept the screws from the other car because they were nicer as well. That's a little bit rusty, the other ones were absolutely shiny and lovely. Now that's not going to get past that bit of door trim, but by undoing the other 2, I can then move the door mirror away from the door. Whoops. And that can keep being tight against the inside of the panel. Ta-da! I've got a powered one of these things. I know I'm not using it. That lifts away. The plug comes undone. Whoops. And all slides off, and that goes in the bin. unless anyone wants a broken power fold mirror. I'll just give this a quick wipe clean while I'm doing it. And actually this single job went from a twofer to a threefer, because the next job I'm going to do is to replace this trim as well. So while I've got this off, this would be the ideal time to do this. I forgot I needed the mirror off for that as well. Okay, this is more exciting. Okay, this is as far down as this window currently goes because the mechanism is broken. I have got a new one to replace as well, but that'll be in the next Freelander video because that's quite a big job. However, one thing I do need to do while the mirror is off is to replace this trim, because as you can see, it's folded out from the door, it's rusted its way out at an angle, it's bubbling up inside there, and it's basically very, very horrible. You do kind of need to put the window down to replace it, but you can do it without if you've got half it down already. This is more recycling for the bin. This is an astonishingly common Freelander problem, and when I was googling about this and I saw it was gone, I was amazed how many cars had actually failed, and I was really relieved when I saw the car I was taking bits from had a really nice set of window surrounds on it. And these aren't exactly perfect, but they're pretty good, and they're an awful lot better than what came off, so it's a massive improvement. That's kind of what matters, really. Do like a rubber mallet for this. It's quite hard not to bend this stuff because it's very flexible, but then once it's bent, you kink it. It's just a matter of getting it into the little grooves. Oh, I really need that glass to go down. Guess who's doing a window regulator tonight? This window won't go down all the way, so I can't get the rubber trim back in. Right, okay, now for reasons you'll see in a later video, the glass is now fully wound down in this door, which is a far better way of doing this job, which actually makes it physically possible. And now I can actually get on and finish riding this round the lip of here. Right, so that is now not perfect, but it is 1,000 times better than it was before. It's a decent fit, it's fitting a lot flusher than it was previously. Obviously, having been pulled off one car and pushed onto another one, it has got a couple of little bends in it, but it's not all rusty and bubbly. There are a couple of little bubbles in there, but it'll last me for certainly a couple of years, because these are quite expensive, new from Land Rover when you can get them, and this wasn't. So just need to put the mirror back on there, then it'll seal it all and hold it in place. Right, now, the nice shiny new electric mirror, which should have a function for winding itself in that doesn't sound like it's dying horribly. Electrical connectory things, check. This is actually much easier without the door card and everything, because it all just clips in place nice and easy. Okay, buzzy time. That's undo. Dooey uppy buzzy. All done and dusted. Let's just check that electrical function does actually work. And since I have got this door apart, I'll add a little bit of future proofing in the form of some wax oil in the bottom of the door cavity. And really hope I don't have to take this out again. Gloves will be 100% essential next time. Now the last thing before the door card goes back on is the plastic sheet, which was missing from previously. And because it's sort of late-ish in the evening and I haven't got time to go anywhere else and get anything, I'm going to use an old carrier bag. Any sheet of plastic will do the trick, as long as it's made of plastic. And because the old Freelander is about the most middle-class soft road you can possibly get, using an M&S carrier bag to do the job. Right, so that is now lined as well as it's going to be. However, looking at this, we've got one broken off tag just there, which should be just there. This door card did come off a lot easier than the ones on the donor car I was pulling bits from, which did worry me a little bit. But as I know now, it has come off in the past, so now it's just a matter of honking it all back into place and then doing the screws up. Obviously don't forget to put the door lock bit through. Oh, I didn't make a... Do you know what I didn't do? I didn't make a hole for the door handle. That's kind of important. We're going to need that. Yay! So now, merely, well, enough hours later for it to go dark, I can finish up the job I started when it was daylight. And that was the tiny, tiny task of changing this panel here. So I can hook up the tweeters. I've pulled out this broken clip. There are lots of these broken clips around. I don't know if you can, well, you must be able to buy these from somewhere. I'll have to go and buy a job lot of them and replace all the broken, busted ones. Tweeter hooked up. Pegs in there. Clip clipped. Job jobbed. Ta-da! So we've now got tweeter trim finisher enclosures done, one of those done, rubbery thing done. Is that 4 jobs done so far? And it's only taken 9 hours. Now that passenger side one of these trims was so easy, I thought, well, let's carry on and do the second one now. That won't take long, will it? At least the window works on this side. Well, the mirror came off easy. Let's see how easily the trim comes off. This one is also extremely bumpy and horrible, and it's completely folded out. I don't know if that's because someone's tried to... Oh no, it's split in the middle, that's why. The corrosion has actually split the middle of this trim panel. At least now I've had a couple of goes of taking these things apart. I kind of know roughly how they go together. A lot easier to figure it all out when you've got the window down, because all the rubber bits that go inside it aren't hitting the glass. Ooh, battery's going flat on that one. Well, that went back together quite well in most areas, but I managed to get a little kink in it over here when I took it off, so it wouldn't quite go on straight. But I'm not too worried because I noticed there's a bit of bubbling up here anyway, so I'm going to need to go and find a better one from a scrapyard anyhow, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Now, I was going to do a few more jobs, but the day has run away, and so we've just got 2 things to do in here. Now this is another boot lid for the that goes on this bit here. Now this one looks absolutely fine, however when you lift it up the locking mechanism has somehow become broken, which is far from ideal. So as it's only 6 of these little Torx head screws to take out, I'll quickly whip those out and swap that across. Okay, so that just lifts away. Now this isn't particularly a problem that this lock doesn't work, but it does rattle and jingle on the road, which is quite annoying, so that's a bit of an improvement. But when it's light and I'm not doing switcheroo stuff, I'll work out if it's possible to separate the lock mechanism from there and there, so I can have the working key back in there in case I ever want to lock it one day. I've just seen all the sand and dog hair, so I'm actually not going to screw it back in right now. I'm going to hoover this in the morning, then I'll screw it in. Now the final thing I'm going to do tonight comes with an apology, because this load space cover was sent in by Donnie, who's very kindly sent it to Junk in the Trunk, which is over on the T-Brake channel. He did send it over with the warning that it wouldn't pull out at all when he pulled it out of the shed, so he doused it in WD-40. I've doused it in oil as well, but it comes out, but it won't go back in again. Anyway, it's good to have that. That's better than nothing. However, one thing that I did find in the donor car was a black load space cover, which obviously being a black interior on this car is going to match a little bit better, and also has the advantage that it goes out and in again, so I'll quickly switch that over. I really wish I brought a tripod out now. Try and do this one-handed in the dark with the one remaining light that's still got power in it. Not the easiest thing in the world. There we go. Clipped in place. This interior does need such a good hoover, because it has been used as a dog car a little bit in the past. Right, so here we go. Pulls out and retracts, as these things are meant to, so I guess that's better than the grey one, which, well, the beige one I should say. So there we go, thank you Donnie, but never mind, that one was, as we knew, was a bit dicey, but at least this one now is working better. Well, I did have two other things I was planning to do on this particular video, one of which was changing the near side headlight for a less cloudy one, which I pulled off the other car, and also the battery tray, because the battery in this car is held on with cable ties. But we've clearly run out of time. It's now quite late at night, the street lights are on, people are looking out their bedroom windows, wondering what the strange person is doing, talking to a camera in his drive in the dark. One last final thing I did do earlier in the day though, was to change the black ice for a Robson's Rover Vanilla. So yeah, that's good. So, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed these minor improvements to the Freelander, which are getting better and better by the day. And every time we drive it, we find something to improve, and then we improve it. So it's all good. Everything's getting better and better. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, as always, like, subscribe, head over to, well, don't head over because I haven't got the store made up yet, but check the description for links to grab one of these lovely yellow, red, blue, grey, or the black hats, £15 plus postage, all the mugs and things over on Redbubble. Next time, might even go and do the rest of the broken window regulators and door locks. And here's a bonus thing for sticking around to the very, very end. Whoever took the store card off last time actually forgot to put on this little plastic nubbin which sits in the back of the cup holder and keeps your cup from rattling around. So I had taken that off the other car in order to fit that on there and finish that bit of trim off. There you go, one bonus bit of material and content for you.